Hey, John. Hey, Swine. Farmer EJ. Barry, Oklahoma. What's going on? Been a long time since I've been live. Just doing an update. I'm out of the dungeon. They got me. 60 days. I'm currently on probation. Hanlon, good to see you. Farmer. So I'm just going to kind of talk about what's next. Hey, Jenny. So now I'm currently working on my appeal. So when I was sentenced, the administrator, that'll be judge to some of you guys. Claudette, good to see you. Uh, he was supposed to send somebody from the public defender's office to bring me my appeal form, and that never happened. Uh, Go figure. EJ, sorry to hear that, buddy. Hey, Tommy, good to see you. Bing, good to see you. So yeah, so what I was saying is, my next step now is to work on my appeal. Even though the appeal, after the conviction, the appeal should take place before 30 days is up. They give you 30 days to file an appeal. Well, I'm way past that. My sentence was 30 days. I was actually sentenced to 60, but it's a 2-for-1. So every day you do is like 2 days. When actually, every day feels like a week when you're locked up. But that's beside the point. So I'm currently working on my appeal to take to the U.S. District Court. First, I got to plead to the court that they'll even accept my appeal with it being late. But it was so, hey, good to see you. But the court hearing itself was so dirty that it's beyond belief. Uh, so when I go to court, they handle me a lot differently than they handle a lot of people. They they shut the surveillance cameras off inside the courtroom. There's nobody else behind me waiting to come up to plead their case. I mean, the courtroom's cleared out. I'm by myself. The only people there is anybody that happens to be with me at that time, and that's usually my wife that's there with me. And well, I mean that's another story there. But hey, Chris. Uh, but anyway, the nobody from the public defender's office ever came to bring me the appeal form. Uh, None of the jail officers would bring me the form or talk to me about the form. Uh, you can call the public defender's office free from the jail, and there is actually a you push two for appeals. So you push two, and I mean it's booked. You can't say anything. You can't do anything. It says that they're overbooked. I, I try to call the public defender's office several times. Of course, they don't answer, and so it's all bullshit. They get you in there. They keep you in there. And even though I know what I'm saying in court and I know how to handle the court, I know the court's a fiction, the court's a fraud. A lot of people don't want to believe that. Even people who support me don't believe that. They think that this authority exists, that these officers have authority over the people. Well, I say it all the time in everybody's comments. If you believe that any servant has authority over you, then do me a favor, look it up, find it yourself, and show me where they have it. Show me where it says that they have authority over us when we're supposed to be the authoritarians. Hey, Lynn. Yeah, Lynn. I mean, there's studying law and then there's studying fact. If the people have all the authority, then the people are the law. And the police and the courts, they act like they're acting in our best interest and label it law. And it's to protect the people when in fact officers, yes, you're right, Lynn. We the people. Everything they wrote says we the people. So we the people have the power. So where do they get to use power over the people? And then hide it under the guise of protecting the people when the Supreme Court's already ruled that officers are not responsible for the people's safety. Hey, X. Hey, Gregory. Gregory, I appreciate you doing that video on me, buddy. Good looking out. I encourage everybody. Share my work, get me out. YouTube don't let me out. YouTube don't throw me out into rotation. YouTube doesn't like my freedom of speech no more than these piece of shit servants. I'm doing bad right now. Gregory, I'll try that. I haven't had much luck trying to get on other people's lives. I'm kind of a tech idiot. That's right, Margaret. If you say something they don't like, there is no freedom of speech. Hey, Snark. Yeah, I say that all the time. They say freedom of speech, but I pay for the speech every time. Every chance they get, they make me pay for my speech. I've got 4 cases that say that freedom of speech isn't free. I'm paying for it. I did 30 days for it. I'm on probation for it. They're going to get me again. They're going to lock me up again. Hey, Wassa. I was hoping when I was locked up that everybody would reach out to everywhere to everyone and just flood everybody, the mayor, the senators, the governors, the ACLU, the Department of Justice, the Judicial Complaint Board, the Bar Complaint Board. We are nothing without you guys. If you guys are not making these calls and you guys are not addressing what they're doing and telling them, hey, this is wrong, you guys can't do this. Oh, Lynn, there's a whole bunch of lawsuits. Now I can file a lawsuit on this case because this case is concluded. The thing about lawsuits is you can't do anything until there's some kind of decision made. And Sal, appreciate that. That's what we need. We need you guys got to address this. Not only address it, you guys got to stand up for the same thing we're standing up for. When the officers interact with you, you guys got to stand on what is right. Don't just watch our stuff and say, hey, they're going through it. Look what they're doing for us. We do this for everybody. We do it for ourselves. I'm not here for the money. I've spent more money and taken more out of my life than it would ever be worth. Hey, Victor, good to see you. Yes, Jeff, always address your grievances. When the people are being hurt for defending what is right, that is most certainly a grievance that needs to be addressed immediately and as many times as possible. I do it. Anytime I see somebody going through something, another videographer going through something, I address it immediately. And I tell them like I tell them here in Indiana, fuck you, you dumb piece of shit motherfucker. You guys can't be doing that. You guys don't know law. You guys are out here enforcing statutes. Statutes are contracts. That's the big thing about what's going on in Article 1 court. It's all contracts. The consent to be governed is a verbal contract. If you accept it and you participate in it, then you're part of the contract. Contracts are so simple. In fact, you'd almost have to be cautious in anybody you talk to in agreeing to anything because you may be putting yourself into the middle of a contract. Think about contracts as liability is expensive, especially when you deal with me. When they did what they did to me, I don't go by their scale. Their pay scale doesn't, it's not me. I say how much. Hey, Tennessee, good to see you. Hey, Stan. Who are they to put a price on what I went through? You don't put a price on taking somebody's freedom. You don't put a price on bullying somebody and intimidating somebody. You don't say how much that was worth to you. I'll tell you how much that was worth to me. So my court trial, my courts, I'll tell you exactly the way I handle them. I tell them I need proof of jurisdiction and authority over me. And I demand that the court get this prosecutor to put in the court record that they have proof of jurisdiction and authority over me. And in fact, the last time I went to court, I even mentioned to the court that I saw where the United States was in breach of contract with the Indians. When the United States attempted, or I say attempted because they didn't follow through, and in fact, the United States never follows through and honors any contract properly. They always breach the contract with force. Just like they breached the Constitution with force. They used force against me and breached the Constitution. Your contract is whatever you applied for with the state, Chris. Marriage license, driver's license, business license, anything that you involve the state in, you contracted with them and you let them in. You made them part of your life. You think you got a marriage license, you think it's just you and your wife that are married. No, you're married to the state too. The state's part of your marriage. The state may not fuck you till you get a divorce, but they'll fuck you eventually. That's when that threesome comes in. That's how they get control over your kids and everything. They control over your kids from birth. Go to the hospital and try to have your child and not fill out the paperwork on your child after giving birth. Even if if you tell the hospital your child's name, the hospital will take it upon themselves to fill out that birth certificate and turn it in because they need your child for the credit. Your child is a credit to the state. Collateral. I don't want to be the state's collateral. I don't want to be the collateral of some terrorists. And that's what they are. They're all terrorists. They knocked my teeth out. My teeth are all fucked up. I didn't have that problem before. It's when I stood up to say something about it is when it happened. That's all they got over me is force. They don't have authority. I challenge that every chance I get. And I challenge it my way, my native tongue, my native language. YouTube doesn't like it. They don't like it. I fucking love it. Fuck you. Mile High, good to see you. And it's not like I can't be, I wouldn't even say cordial. Even in a simple conversation, I use cuss words. I'm not a shoot, darn, rootin' tootin' kind of person. It's fuck, goddamn, shit, bitch, motherfucker, pussy, bitch. Why not, right? We can say whatever we want. We can complain about whatever we want. Not that anything gets done about it. Brandon, good to see you. Hope you guys are doing good out there. You got to be doing better than me at the moment. So, like I was saying, my next step is to get this appeal through, and then I'm going to go ahead and submit documents for a change of venue from the state court to the federal court under Federal Question 1331. Federal Question 1331 relates to any constitutional issue at hand. So anytime there's a constitutional dispute, it should automatically be sent over to the U.S. District Court due to Federal Question 1331 and the Constitution being violated. Not only that, Article 1 is a fictitious court. They have no judicial power. They have no judicial authority. Nothing anywhere says, other than being able to set up, that they had any authority to prosecute anybody. The courts are set up to settle disputes between the people. They wasn't set up to collect money or enslave people, even though the government is the only ones. Hey, Vigilance, good to see you. Even though the government is the only people allowed to own slaves anymore. Slavery wasn't abolished. They just made a new slave master. Just like the only people that can counterfeit money, deal drugs, and have trap houses set up is the government. This sport should be boycotted. I mean, let's demand the courts like the child welfare system. The child welfare system, they don't remember from anyone. The only reason is we allow them to do it, and they call the police. They bring the police officers out there, and they do it by force. That's right, under color of law. But there is no law at play. If we are the power, we are the people, we the authority, then we are the law. We give the rights. We don't accept rights. Rights are contracts. That's why I say everything is a contract. Hey, Jeff, good to see you. The contract is simple. If somebody offers you something and you accept it, then the contract has been satisfied. And the only thing left, hey Daisy, good to see you. The only thing left to see is if the contract will be honored or not. If the contract is not honored, then there has to be some sort of remedy in order to get that contract satisfied. You can't agree to something and then disagree. And it doesn't have to be in writing. Everything back in the day was a handshake. But people become so dishonorable these days and like so many morals that, I mean, in writing is preferred. But it's not a necessity. And the reason why it's not a necessity is because if you accept to defend that contract or dispute that contract, hey Rami, good to see you, then your acceptance allows it to appear in court. Your appearance is acceptance, and it satisfies the contract that keeps you in court. So when I tell people that, they say we're fighting for our constitutional rights, we don't have rights. The Constitution is their boundary. That's the government's boundary. They wrote it. It's for the government. It's for those who give consent to be governed. If you want to be, if you give consent to be governed by terrorists, then you accept their authority. Hey, Rocky, good to see you. I've told the court I don't accept to be consent. I don't give consent to be governed. And I've also told them that, Trump is a multi-felon, possible pedophile, and he's a womanizing racist. I mean, the government's allowing this attack on Palestine. They're involved in a genocide. I don't participate with that. I don't accept that. The government has never served the people. Even when you contract with the state, and this is why I don't understand why anybody would contract with the state, because When you contract with the state, as far as business license or anything else, the only thing the state's ever going to do is they're going to send somebody around sooner or later that's going to look at your property and be like, hey, your gutter's fucked up. That's going to cost you. Your driveway needs repaved. That's going to cost you. The stripes are faded on your lot. We're going to have to charge you. So you're paying the state to be involved in your business only so they can make money from you off your business by citing you with all these infractions that make no sense. And they won't protect you. You're not getting any protection. At least when people paid the mafia offered some sort of protection. Well, this mafia don't offer you nothing but grievance and another debt and another bill to pay. You're always paying for something. And prosecution is for profit. Everything says that no government agency should ever profit from anything, but it's all profit. That's right. The more money they take, the less free you are. Exactly. When you talk about the privileges and things that the government offers, privileges, driving is a privilege. It's not a privilege. I don't care what anybody says. Driving is not a privilege. The state wants a part of everything. So when you accept a privilege and you contract for the privilege, then you don't even own your vehicle. When you pay property tax, you don't own your home. The government's part owner, and they'll take it from you. Don't give them any money, and they'll take it from you. That's why everybody needs to understand how the government operates. If you don't understand how they operate, they're going to take advantage of you. I mean, these are not honorable people. We're dealing with a bunch of crooks, and it's our duty to know. We have to understand. They don't have to understand anything. They get away with it. In fact, their ignorance allows qualified immunity to protect them. Even though the ignorance that they're displaying, a child should know. A child should understand it. But the courts, they'll follow along with it. They'll protect the state. Because if anybody admits any wrongdoing or any error on any state actor's part, then they know they open themselves up to liability. And then they want to tell you how much you can sue for. I mean, I've seen people do 30 years in prison and get a few $1 million. Well, life is one thing you cannot buy back. Time you can't buy back. Once it's gone, it's gone. What price do you put on your life? Yeah, Lynn. You're right. Only I would leave the right off of the end. I say status, or, hey, Britt. OTVO, good to see you. So I've got a lot going on. I still got 3 cases. I got 2 more cases in Marion County. I got my case in Danville, which originally started in Brownsburg due to an unlawful traffic stop. I'm sure a lot of you seen how that went. Yes, Lynn. Yes, driving means you're in commerce. Hates pigs. Good to see you. So the way I handle court is I challenge and I question everything. I don't answer questions. In fact, the first hearing before I got convicted, the administrator wouldn't answer anything. I tried to ask him what the court was operating under. I tried to explain to the court that I don't understand their procedures. The only thing I understand is I don't believe they have jurisdiction and authority over me, and I'd like them to prove it. Every time I go to court, I want them to prove it. Also, every time I go to court, I tell them, bring a TV out here Let's pull up wanda mise on YouTube and let's see what's going on. My video evidence was denied in my court hearing, even though after 2 years ago, the court, the administrator back then demanded the prosecutor produce my videos within 2 weeks. But now all of a sudden, during this forced bench trial, that was another thing. My paid attorney, the attorney that Team DLZ helped finance for me, uh, he went into court, turned my trial by jury into a bench trial, and then recused himself from my case. So when I went to court, I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought it was going to be continued out, and it wasn't. In fact, the court clerk, when I went in to check in, the court clerk said this to me. She said, "One of two things are going to happen today. You're either going to proceed pro se, which means I'll be accepting jurisdiction of the court and basically bound to Article 1 rules and procedures with no understanding of their rules and procedures, no admittance to where I can find their rules and procedures or what the court was even prosecuting me under, what jurisdiction, if it was common law or admiralty law, because those are the only two things that's recognized in the Constitution. And once again, the Constitution is something they wrote. I didn't accept the Constitution. I don't accept anything that I didn't create or that I don't accept. That's what they wrote. I don't accept that. But as far as Constitution goes, admiralty or common law, that's what you act in court under. And once again, there's nothing in Article 1 that says that that Article 1 was even established to prosecute anybody under common law or admiralty law. But if you look at the way the system wants you to believe that Article 1 courts are Constitution, state Constitution, they always have to follow federal, but state Constitution, common law, or statutes. Now, when you get into statutes, that's where the problem is, because statutes are contract commerce law. I say law, but it's really not law, but that's how they label it. They label it commercial law. And why they don't label it commercial procedures beyond me. But I guess law seems like it has more weight and more authority and is more believable. And statutes are contract. So if you're contracted to the government, then supposedly you are part of these statutes and you're regulated by these statutes. But the thing about a contract is you can cancel a contract at any time. Especially if you didn't know that you were part of a contract or that what they were doing was a contract related. And they can't force you into a contract. So you dispute the contract or challenge the contract and demand that contract be put into court record so you can review it to see where they have on there that you agreed to be part of that contract or that you understood that you were part of a contract. The police are they're the slave catchers. In fact, they're the ones that they initiate the contracts and the charges. That's why the ID is so important to the officers, because when you ID, you're IDing for a contract. You're accepting to be part of it. So they have to get that ID to satisfy the contract. Yeah, Robbie, it's all caps name, but they're supposedly they're supposed to be redoing they're going to be redoing that where where it won't have to be all caps anymore. Hey Joko, good to see you. Because they want to further hide the conspiracies. They're all conspirators. Conspiracy is one of the big things about getting it into the Supreme Court or the federal court, the U.S. District Court. I mean, in fact, the conspiracy portion of my lawsuit that I submitted was the only thing that really held any gravity inside the court so far. The U.S. attorney tried to get my case dismissed, and what I found out is they used the same nonsense, some Rule B thing, but I mean, basically the courts are all scripted, and they use the same script and the same thing to try to get things dismissed or to try to enforce these statutes upon people. And the birth certificate, it's all part of the government, and I've never seen anything anywhere that says we should have any kind of any documentation at all. I mean, all documents go through some state or some associate of the state. Like in Indiana, the license branch is selling our information off, and you know who they're selling it to? They're selling it to these debt collectors. They're selling it to these repo agencies, and whoever else that wants our information, they're selling it off, making money. And I've never looked at the license branch contract to see in there if it says that they're able to, or they do sell our information. You know, it might be in the contract. Who knows? In that fine print. Nobody really reads the contract. Westside, good to see you. I tell everybody, do your research. Especially if you picked up a camera and you're out there and you're holding them accountable for what they're doing. Do your research. I mean, these attorneys, they're negotiators. They're there to negotiate a plea. And the people think because they didn't end up in jail at the end of their hearing, hey, Howard, good to see you. They think that they won. Because you're free, you think you won, but you're subjected to something. Community service, house arrest, probation. They're going to collect off of you either way. After they collect it off of you sitting in jail. Everything's a collection for them. And we have to challenge everything. We have to always appeal everything. And we challenge it as much as we can, but we can't stop the force. But as long as more people are accepting and pleading than those of us who are challenging it, then those of us who challenge it are going to lose every time. I flat out told everybody in my dorm, the reason why I'm guilty is because the majority of you in here will plead out, and you will plead guilty. So by you all pleading guilty, you'll make me guilty every time. For public safety, good to see you. Yeah, good to be out. 30 days, I mean, may not seem like much to some people, but it's a lifetime to me. I mean, I just had a grandbaby. Like a week before I had to turn myself in, I had a grandbaby. I've already lost a month with her and probably getting ready to lose more time. Hey, Pickwood, good to see you. Yeah, Lion was a big supporter of mine. Everybody we lose, I'm going to remember forever. We don't have enough people, let alone losing people along the way. And I know it happens, but it sucks when it does. I mean, I'm here because I'm going to have to do more lives. I'm not going to really be able to get out into the streets and do what needs to be done. Not right now. I mean, I am stuck. I got too many cases still pending. I'm on 3 bonds still. The case they prosecuted me for, here's the odd thing. The case they prosecuted me for is I was trespassed out of the Ways and Means office. So I left, let them know how I felt about that. But they never ID'd me on the scene. They never said disorderly. They never said this. They did say calm down. But how do you calm down when somebody's bullying you and somebody's intimidating you and somebody's conspiring to stop what you're lawfully allowed to do? I don't take that sitting down. I don't take that quietly. I don't accept that peacefully. But then again, I don't stand on my ability to be able to physically challenge him. We're able to use equal force. So if I say no, I'm not leaving, and they say, well, you're under arrest, and then they put their hands on me, and I stop them from putting their hands on me, and they get more and more officers in there, and they all start putting their hands on me, and they beat the crap out of me, rough me up and handcuff me, tase me and mace me and whatever they're doing to me, then Gambino, you're one of those, huh? How many people have you stood up to, Gambino? Let's start there. It's not all about winning the lawsuit. Gambino, how can I win any lawsuit when a lawsuit can't begin until the court has ended? That's what a lot of you don't understand. We cannot take it to court while there's still an open case going on. I do have a lawsuit submitted. It's against the Speedway Post Office for the Speedway Police Department and the post office conspiring to trespass me out of a public area. Lynn, appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by. I mean, this shouldn't be about lawsuits. I shouldn't have to file lawsuits. I should be respected. Have I ever read the full Poster 7? Hey, Chuck, good to see you. I've got so many copies of the Poster 7, it's unreal, Gambino. But what's your point? Really, what's your point? I mean, you don't want to bring up the DHS memo? It's the same thing, isn't it? Regarding federal property? Everything says that we can video federal buildings inside and outside. And even if we couldn't, you arrest somebody for videoing in public? You beat them up, you strangle them, you choke them? Gambino, what is law? Gambino, explain to me what law is. Tell me what law is, Gambino. Poster 7 is a policy. It's a rule. Hey, Ford, good to see you. Well, tell me what isn't law. So you don't know what law is, but you know what law isn't? Yeah, Poster 7 isn't law. Opinions, they're not law either. Feelings are not law. Language isn't law. Harm is where law is supposed to take place, but even then, the way the government has written everything, so listen to this, the way the government has written in everything, the people have the power, the people are the authority, everything is for the people. So if we the people have the authority, then how can I tell anybody anything, and how can I prosecute anybody for anything? It doesn't matter what it is. And I know it sounds crazy, but this is the big problem in law, is how can two authoritarians take authority over another? You absolutely have to commit a crime to be trespassed. I mean, even if you're on private property, you have to be asked to leave private property. You have to be told it's private property. And you have to give notice and time to leave private property. Hey, Beyond, good to see you. In fact, in Indiana, private property has to be marked. Private property has to be clearly marked as private property. Sorry, just looking at the chats, looking at what Vigilance is saying. So, and then you get to I was never on private property. I was in buildings owned by private individuals, but open to the public. And every time I'm in public, I'm conducting a service. So I'm not loitering. I'm not trespassing. I'm there with purpose. And everything I've done is all about purpose. In fact, the majority of my videos have to do with my arrest and me trying to get information on everybody involved. I try to get their bonds, their background, the Brady information, their salaries, length of employment, other departments they worked at. I want everything on them. I want as much information as I can possibly get on them. I mean, I had a supporter tell me about John Constable. He's the officer that ordered my arrest at the post office. Tell me if I go back inside the building, go back inside because I was out on the sidewalk, that I'd be arrested for trespassing. But that they were getting ready to. I thought you were black as fuck, bro. Dubs, good to see you. And in fact, that John Constable said that they were getting ready to trespass me, even though I was already out on the sidewalk. How does that work? And he flat out refused my video evidence that would have proved I committed no disturbance. In fact, I was disturbed. So how is it when somebody else is disturbed that it becomes me causing the disturbance? That's where the trolls don't make any sense. And I know that 90% of the trolls are all about hate and picking on people because that's how they get their rocks off. I don't have to get my rocks off on somebody else's behalf. I do what I do and I do me every day. I mean, I don't need anybody's approval. I mean, you either like how I do it or you don't. The fact is, I'm doing it. And what are you doing? Because if you're accepting it, then you're making it harder on us, and you're accepting being terrorized by the government. Gambino, you can look up a lot of stuff. I mean, you can get on Chat GPT, you can get on Google, and you can say, hey, do I have to have a driver's license? And it'll say yes. But then you get into case law, and you'll see that you don't. Common law. Yeah, Westside, I mentioned the DHS memo. They overlook all that stuff. See, what nobody seems to understand is I've already won. The way I conduct myself, I've already won my same conduct in the U.S. District Court. So I went to U.S. District Court because they gave me a ticket for videoing in the hallway at the Minton Federal K-Part building. Not only that, I was trespassed for the day by the Department of Homeland Security. So when I go to court, I'm expecting to see finally somebody who has the title as a real judge, somebody with at least judicial authority. And so I go in there, and there's no judge. There's a bunch of people sitting around on the table. There's Department of Homeland Security. There's some staff of the court. And it turns out that it's arbitration. So I go in there, and they're trying to negotiate this ticket, $130 ticket. Now, I know some of you say, well, why waste your time for $130? Because I'm right, that's why. I'm not paying for being battered. I'm not paying for being intimidated out of a public building and then being handcuffed and roughed up by some fat piece of shit that doesn't know his fucking job. It wouldn't take his dumb ass back inside and observe and report like he's supposed to do. But he wants to come out there and get in my business and then start talking crazy to me like he knows more than I do. I don't tolerate that nonsense. I mean, we can be respectful. If you want to have a respectful conversation with me, then let's have it. But if you want to get out of line and try to use your badge and your false authority over me and try to bully me and intimidate me or make me look stupid, then we're going to have a problem. This conversation is not going to go the way you expected. Because I'm going to tell you exactly what I think you are, and I'm right. I'll guarantee you that. Your conduct proves it. But anyway, so I walk into this arbitration and they want to negotiate this ticket, and I say, I don't know what the fuck you guys are doing here. I'm not negotiating anything. I'm not paying anything. I said, in fact, this DHS officer right here the day before told me I had every right to video exactly where I was at. So you guys want to get me in here and try to negotiate that? I said, I was battered by a security guard. I was handcuffed and unlawfully trespassed from a public building for doing nothing wrong. In fact, I did everything that DHS said I could do. And then they want to still talk to me about what's going on with it and this and that and try to negotiate something. I said, there's fucking nothing to negotiate. I use my same language there that I use on the street, that I use in a public building, that I use when I talk to my kids, my grandkids, and everybody else that I talk to. That's my language. You don't like it, go fuck yourself. Don't talk to me. If my words hurt you or offend you in any type of way, then grow a fucking pair of balls. Or get a grip on reality. The world doesn't revolve around you. It doesn't revolve around me either. But that's why we can accept or ignore whatever we don't like or like. We're not all going to agree in this community. You guys may think I'm wrong. All you have to do is prove I'm wrong. I mean, I don't need you to prove me wrong. I know what I know. It's like saying we should all love the color purple. And if you don't love the color purple, then get the fuck out of here. I mean, I may like some things you like, and I may dislike a lot of things you dislike or you like, but who cares? It's our character, and it's what we're fighting for. That's the reason why we're all here. Beyond, you're such a fucking dirtbag. Nobody gives a shit what you have to say. You can bring your dumb ass in here all you want. You're nothing but a cop-sucking, bootlicking fucking moron is what you are. Nobody gives a fuck about you. If you want to accept being governed by terrorists, then that's your right. You're either here to understand what's going on and try to make it right, or you're going to accept what's going on and be a fucking bootlicker. That's the great thing about freedom of choice. Well, Horizon might like to get strip searched. Who knows? Maybe that's why he likes them so much. He likes somebody patting around on those fucking little dingleberries that he calls balls. Horizon ain't got no fucking balls. Come and see me, Horizon. Let's talk about it in person. Yeah, Lynn. I'm glad I'm out, believe me. I mean, that seemed like forever. I mean, still, I was talking to Chili. We had a phone conversation, and I was talking to Chili, and I told him that, I mean, I still don't sleep. I mean, I sleep maybe 2-3 hours every 4 or 5 days. I mean, that's how I'm living. I mean, I've got a lot of other things going on, and if you guys if you guys looked at little Chili's, the Chili conversation I have with Chili, you guys would see or know what's going on. I don't want to get into too much detail about it because I don't want to be in that frame of mind right now. I'm just trying to get out what I need to say. Horizon, nobody can prove anything to you because you wouldn't understand it. You wouldn't understand the fact if it hit you upside that big fucking head of yours. But anyway, I mean, I'm really in a bad, I'm in a bad way right now. Nothing I can do about that. Uh, yeah, the Constitution. I mean, I tell everybody. When I first started watching these, hey Greg, good to see you. Yeah, it's glad to be free. Uh, Once I started really studying what was going on, fact changed everything. And I say fact changed everything. So when I talk to people about what's going on and try to explain how the system is working and to check out, the people that I've seen, Carl Miller, uh, Gene Keating, and all these other people that I talk about, uh, I pick up things from different people, and I don't hold their word as merit. I research it and I research it, and I cross reference it numerous times. I spend a lot of time and I research everything thoroughly. Always, Jeff. Always. And that's what we all got to do. We end up with charges, Gambino, because you can't stop the force. Ignorance is a powerful force. People like you prove that every day. People like you, Horizon, you guys all prove that ignorance is a powerful force. Horizon, you do put your hand in shit every day. Early, all day. You sleep with your hand in shit. If you accept what's going on, then you're living in shit, Horizon. Just because you're too fucking ignorant to understand it, then that's your fucking problem. I mean, if you shut the fuck up and listen, you might learn something. Gambino, you're a fucking ignorant fuck. I mean, what's there to read? I've read everything, Gambino. I understand how the system works. I see that it's a fraud. Just because you guys don't want to understand it, and you guys don't want to do the research, and that's on you. I'm trying to tell you about it. You don't have to take my word for it. Take what I say and then reference it, cross-reference it, look it up. All I can do is give you the information. What you do with it is on you. I'm toothless because the court deputies made me that way, you dumb fuck. They knocked my fucking teeth out. So fuck Poster 7, fuck the DHS memo, fuck you, fuck your mom and your dad for having you. They should have had somebody with some goddamn common sense. What do you think about that, Gambino? What do you think about that, Horizon? You love that freedom of speech, huh? You don't understand anything, Horizon. All you guys want to do is spread fucking ignorance. You guys talk about ignorance, but that's all you spread is ignorance. Denny Kohler, appreciate you stopping by, buddy. Always good to see you. You don't wind me up. That's the thing. You're not winding me up. I mean, you can be as ignorant as you want. That's on you. I mean, it's you guys who should be wound up. When you see what we go through, when you see what us videographers go through, then you guys should be wound up. Not me. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm not mad, Gambino. I don't know you. So fuck you. So the fact is, I got 3 more cases. More than likely, they're going to convict me, convict me, convict me. And so I'm going to do the time. And it's going to be up to me to remedy everything. And I'll be trying to do it from jail when nobody in jail is going to give me the documents. They're not going to follow what's supposed to be followed. They're not going to assist me in getting justice. That's why everything I write, and I even had a problem getting out of jail, Even though I did my sentence, they held me in there longer in the release portion of the jail because I wrote under threat, duress, and coercion and signed my name. So everything I'm forced to sign, I sign under threat, duress, and coercion because that's all this is. And then the guy says, "What is this? What is this?" Because they're all Haitians inside there. "Why are you signing like this?" "I sign like this because you guys kidnapped me. That's why." "It was not us." "It was you. The jail convicts me and you guys hold me prisoner. So you guys are every bit a part of this." Horizon, if you have a 13-year-old, then this actually, I mean, it's disgraceful that you don't want to figure it out. I mean, if you got a 13-year-old, then you need to figure it out so you can protect your 13-year-old or let them be attacked. Horizon, what about when your child gets attacked by the police? Are you going to be a cop sucker then? They get kids too. I've seen a bunch of videos. But you do you. I'll do me. Exactly, Rami. I mean, look, the thing is I never tell anybody to take my word as bond. In fact, I tell you, don't take my word as bond. Just take my clues and research my clues. All I can do is offer you the information. All I can do is tell you where to look, who to listen to. And then you take your opinion and your feelings and you do whatever you want with them. I'm not God here. I'm nobody. Without you supporters, I'd really be nobody. Because I can't do this by myself. I wish I could. I wish I could call the Department of Justice and just simply say, "Hey, I just wanted to call you guys because of what happened to me, explain the situation, and then get on it immediately and then at least investigate it." I mean, it's worth looking into. But when my word as a single people doesn't generate some kind of investigation, then that proves to me that I'm nothing, or that they are everything, and they gotta protect each other. So it's all a conspiracy. When I call them and they don't act, it's a conspiracy. They conspired to protect them because they neglected their duty to investigate what I'm saying. And it's not like I'm just walking in there saying, "Hey, this happened," or calling and saying, "Hey, this happened," and don't have any evidence to back it up. I've got all the evidence in the world. Only when I go to court, they refuse my evidence. They shut their surveillance cameras off. They make sure nobody else is in the courtroom when I'm standing up there and I'm challenging the court. They don't want people to see how I challenge the court. Grab it, good to see you. Because if everybody challenged the court the way I challenge the court, nobody ever gets sentenced because the court would be so backed up that the time would expire for conviction on the majority of the arrests that they made. And when I was locked up, I've seen so many, I mean, there were so many medical malpractice suits going on in there. A guy told me about them doing surgery on his leg because he got bit possibly by one of those brown recluse spiders. And he had a pretty good sized hole in his leg. And they changed it one time a day, so he's getting poor medical care. And they did a surgery on it and gave him no medicine for pain. And I've sat and watched a guy have 3 seizures in one night. A guy in the bunk across from me had 3 seizures in one night. I mean, I kind of freaked out a little bit because I didn't know what was going on. You know, I'm sitting there, and like I said, I don't sleep much. I didn't sleep much in jail either. It's about the same. You know, 2-3 hours every 4 or 5 days I would sleep. But this guy just, he kind of sat up, and he's like reaching out to me, and his mouth is moving, but no words are really coming out. And he's slobbering all over the place. And I'm like, "Oh shit, this guy's having a seizure." And at first I didn't understand why he was reaching out to me. And Then I realized he's having a seizure, so I hit the button. I'm like, "Hey, guys in here having a seizure," and they're asking me all these questions, what bunk and this and that. Well, you know what dorm I'm in from where the call button's being activated from. Get some people here. So they get people in here and they want to question the guy after he just had a seizure. I mean, are you kidding me? Where's the doctor? Then I find out that the jail's apparently not paying the doctors, so a lot of them quit. So who knows who's giving any type of medical care in there? And the medical care they are giving is atrocious. I mean, if you're cutting somebody open with no pain medicine and telling them that they could have died, well, why do you take them to the hospital? Then they had a guy come in and needed a medical. Hey, Spirit, good to see you. They had a guy in there that needed medical equipment to be able to get around. This guy's hobbling around in the dorm trying to go to the bathroom, trying to get his food and everything else. Where the people in the dorms, I mean, we were stepping up, getting his food for him, and trying to help him get from point A to point B. Broken, good to see you. You know, and that was the one thing I could say about the jail in both dorms that I was in, because they transferred me from 2A to 4R, and the people in there, they're really concerned about the older people, and they're concerned about these people with medical disabilities. So they're really looking out for each other in that sense. But I saw a lot of stuff I didn't like. But all I could do in there is stay as far under the radar as possible, because even going into jail, there were sheriffs who who knew who I was that I had no idea who they were, but they know who I am because they called me by my name. And it's like that now. So I know that me, I've gotten around to probably all these departments, and they're all talking about me. They all know who I am. And I think that, well, if you guys know who I am and you know what I've done and what I've been a part of, then why am I here? Why am I walking into jail right now? Because you guys know I didn't harm anybody. I didn't damage any property. So why am I here? Because of my mouth? Freedom of speech? Because you don't like what I say? You don't like what you are, is what it is. You don't like what you are because I say what you are. I tell you exactly what you are. And you prove it in the video. I probably am, and I guarantee if they run the plate, when they run the plate on the vehicle, I guarantee there's some kind of notation attached to that plate saying either hostile or something belligerent or whatever. I'm sure something like that pops up when they run the plate. All I want you to do is I want you to understand the system. I'm going to be starting a podcast where I'm going to be talking about the system, and then I'll get my documents out and we'll go through it detail by detail. And I'll say it all the time. If I'm wrong, then prove me wrong. Until then, you can't say that I'm wrong. I mean, you can say whatever you want, I guess, but it doesn't make it right. Absolutely, Jeff. 100%. Painfully truthful. Painful to me, anyway. Yeah, Wes, I appreciate that. Yes, definitely. I'll reach out if I need anything. All I really need right now is for people to basically share my content, get me out there, because I need as many people as possible to help me make these calls, call into these agencies, and tell them, hey, you guys are doing this guy wrong. Where is the harm? Where is the damage to property? I would never hurt anybody or damage anybody's property That is not my intent in life. My intent in life is to get along peacefully. And if I'm going to be videoing, I'd like to have a cordial conversation about what's going on and let's get this corrected. You think I want to call you what you... you think I want to call you how you're acting out, and I don't. I want to be respectful. I want to have a mutual understanding. And we can do that. We can have a conversation. Yeah, I know that's the problem, Spirit. The whole system is corrupt. East Carbon, good to see you. And the problem with the reason why it's corrupt is because it pays good. Crime pays, and it's really not even crime. I mean, I've seen so many people in there. There's so many people in jail who've got some clear mental disabilities. I've seen the CO snatch somebody off the top bunk and they just roughed him up good. I believe to my understanding, they said something about doing the CO's harm. But the guy clearly had issues. I mean, he was in there mumbling on, talking, crazy. He had issues. And since all these, I don't know about other states, I know Indiana, they shut down the Central State and all these facilities that house these people with, these mental disabilities. And to me, I think they just opened up the door and let them go. So you got all these people now who are homeless, and you got people who are eligible for Social Security benefits that probably have no idea about Social Security benefits, have no idea about how to get them or anything, and they're living on the streets. So you know how that goes when you're living on the street. The cops are going to be all over you. I mean, everywhere's full-on attack on these homeless people. Indiana, California, Florida, everywhere. I mean, you can't feed them. They don't want you feeding them. They don't want you doing anything for them. They don't want the homeless people out trying to get money from the people. And why? That's the thing about the government. If the government was helping the people, then these people wouldn't be homeless. I mean, they got these homeless shelters set up, but there's so many horror stories about these homeless shelters, about how even the people they put in these homeless shelters, I mean, they harass the people. They're rough on the people. The people's property gets stolen. They divide the families. Women are getting raped. People are being bullied in there. Who wants to go stay in there? I'd rather be on the street. If I was going to endure that, my property getting stolen, and these people, the staff, treat me like shit, I wouldn't want to be there. The government isn't helping the people. The government is helping itself. I mean, there's a way to help these people. The problem is getting good-hearted people in them places. I mean, you got to get, maybe some of those people that get in those places start off with a good heart and they see so much and they just start hating these people. I don't know what it is. But there's got to be some sort of understanding. I mean, there's got to be compassion. When you deal with another person, you got to have that. And I do have that, even though it may not appear like that. But they don't give me a chance. I mean, they start right off the bat trying to intimidate and bully me. That's a bad start. We don't start off that way. Not with me. No, no, no. I got a very short fuse. And I don't mean for temperament-wise. I just mean I got a short dummy fuse. You can only be a dummy for a short amount of time, and then the truth comes out. Yeah, they're getting fat. The government keeps us, in fact, I mean, it's been like this for a while. It actually takes 2 incomes to provide a decent living for the family. And the reason why they do that is they want our minds so focused on getting by that we don't see what they're doing, and we don't even have time to redress what they're doing. So they continue on, and then they're constantly passing new statutes to further criminalize everything we do. I mean, everything the Constitution didn't put a limit on, the state made illegal for money. Carvin, uh, we were gonna go that route. We were gonna get something, a pop up, or we were gonna get something, and we were gonna just hit the road and just travel everywhere. And I figured that I might know so many people that a few wouldn't mind just hanging out, for a night and give me a spot in their driveway and just hang out and just talk about what's going on, what's going on in their area, what I've seen, what I've experienced. I mean, that's the important thing about you guys in the community too, is that when people like me get ready to hit the open road, you can say, hey, stop by here, stop by anytime. And it'd be great to meet you. I'd love to meet everybody if I could. I'm not saying that I'm somebody special in this world. I'm not. I'm part of you. And you guys are part of me. Horizon, I don't get paid. I've made $100 on YouTube. I've got a $300 bond in Chile. Good to see you, buddy. I got a $300 bond in Danville. I got a $150 bond in Marion. I got $250 bonds in Marion County. So I paid out more cash than I brought in. And in fact, I've been so wrapped up in this community and trying to support everybody and then trying to do my own thing out there on the street that I've even stopped doing what I do. I limited what I do. I ran a mobile auto repair business for 15 years, and I didn't even get out doing that often. I went out and made enough to get by and took all my time and put it into the community. So I lost more than I'll ever gain. This isn't about money for me. This is retribution. This is about making their wrongs to me right. I don't get where you guys say this is about money. It never started off as money. It started off because I was involved in an unlawful traffic stop in Martinsville. I was watching these videos for probably 2 years before that happened to me. And I wasn't sure if I would ever pick up a camera and get out there. But I sure supported everybody that did, and I made the calls. I called everybody. Whenever I saw somebody being treated unjustly, I called in. Otherwise, I wouldn't be telling you to call in about what you've seen I've went through. Because I make those same calls. They got me out here. When it happened to me, I jumped through all the same hoops that everybody else did. I went and did a public records request. I filed complaints. Even though the officer admitted that it was his plate reader that read that the plate went to a person with a suspended driver's license, when I did my public records request, they told me that no plate reader was used because I wanted to know what information the plate reader gave them. I know what it gives them. It lets them know if the insurance is valid and all the information on the person on the plate. But they wouldn't admit that. They wouldn't tell me what information it gave. They said there was no plate reader used. And the officer clearly said on my video, his plate reader picked up that the plate came back to a suspended driver. The plate, the name that the plate is on, never had a driver's license. ever. So how can something be suspended that you never had? That's right, OTVO. They don't even know the Constitution. They don't understand it, and they swore an oath to it. That's what I told them when I cross-examined Beeman in the witness stand. I told him, so you signed a document that you had no idea about and never took the time to understand what you were signing. I don't know what mode I'm in. I mean, my phone is straight up and down, but I don't know. Am I upside down? I mean, I don't know. I would hope somebody would have said that. In fact, in court, I asked every one of them that was up there, Benjamin Tooley, Kaylee Collinger, Beeman, Hankins. I said, did the prosecutor prep you for this hearing? All of them, immediately, all of them, they look over at the prosecutor. Every one of them, when I asked that question, they looked over at the prosecutor like, what do I say? Because when I cross-examined them and I asked them questions, they played ignorant to the question. And I was like, do you understand part of your duty is to accept a public record request? And so, I mean, at the least I proved that they wasn't informed in their duty and that they were incompetent. And I also got Kaylee Collinger to admit that I never said a single cuss word towards them. So where's this disturbance at? Where is it relevant to kick me out of the office? Google blocks your comments. Short chat feed on vertical. Hard to keep up sometimes. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Carbon, I get the same thing here in Indiana. They don't respond to my requests. I've had some stuff with the sheriff's department, and the sheriff's department has an attorney, I guess, that handles their public records requests. And I mean, they're so full of shit that it's unreal. Yeah, you guys know I don't block anything. I never do. So, if you're commenting in my comment section and your comment gets removed, it's not me. I mean, you look at my comment section, you'll see I got a bunch of trolls in there. I got more trolls in there than I have supporters. The trolls, they love me. I'm not saying these supporters don't love me, but I'm just saying them trolls, they're all over me. But yeah, I mean, it's great seeing everybody. I'm glad to be out. Kind of. 23 million watching. I wish. I've got less than 4,000 supporters. Yeah, Brendan, I appreciate that. It's great to be out. Carbon, I knew there would be a lot of you out here for me. Dr. Nady, good to see you. Gangsters, that's right. Freedom gangsters. You'll get there, Jeff. I know being under the, I mean, I don't know how YouTube sets it up now, but I know when I was trying it, I mean, you had to have 1,000, and then you had to have so many watch hours. but my watch hours, just from supporting everybody that was already, out there doing it, my watch hours were way beyond what I needed. But getting that 1,000, boy, I'm having the same problem getting to 4,000. It seems like. I mean, that 4,000 seems like it's just as tough to get to that 1,000 as it was to get to this 4,000. Oh yeah, I've got great supporters. I mean, and I may be a lot to deal with. I mean, a lot of people can't stand my language, and they don't understand that. I look at it from I look at it from my perspective. Where's the de-escalation? Where's that at? Where's the de-escalation training? I mean, are they going to try to be calm and rational and understanding and to get me down to that rational or what they would consider to be rational understanding? Or is my language going to get them going? Vigilance, I appreciate that. That's the first time I've ever gotten anything like that. I appreciate that. My first one ever. I'm not saying it's the first time that the community has helped me because, like I said, in Team GLZ, I mean, they stepped up. They came up with $3,000 to pay this attorney that ended up being a piece of shit. A paid attorney would not get my public defender wouldn't get all my documents. And at the time, I was calling them motions, but I come to realize that we don't submit motions to court. We should submit petitions to the court. And so my public defender refused to get my petitions in the court record because they challenged jurisdiction, they challenged authority, and I also wanted to see if there's any contract at play because I believe, and even back then I believed, that this is all contract related. Commerce is contracts. And if statutes are regarding commerce, then it's got to be contract related. Admiralty is contract related. Common law is case law, it's opinion. Now, it's judicial opinion, but is judicial opinion, is that even relevant to us? That's like us in this community. We can sit here and we can talk about something and we can say, you know what? We're not going to say the sun is yellow anymore. We're going to say that the sun is green. And everybody else is supposed to accept that because that's community, right? That's the people, and the people are the authority. So that must mean that the people have now determined that the sun is no longer yellow; it is now green because we have the authority to do that. And that's basically what the Supreme Court is. When you get into common law, it's a group of people who use their opinion to establish the way it should be in law. Now, if we don't agree with that, does it still make it law? If we're the authoritarians, does it make it law? I don't think so. I think it still makes it their opinion. Just like the Constitution. When I first got into this, I was like, oh yeah, the Constitution. The Constitution's a big deal. And I love the Constitution. I love our constitutional rights. And then I realized when I did my homework, when I did the research and put the work in, I realized, well shit, they ought to sell the Constitution as rolls of toilet paper. Because that's what the truth is. The Constitution is a roll of shit that they wrote. And it's their boundary. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't understand the Constitution because it's their limit. So we need to understand their limits, where their limits begin and end, and where our status is. We got to be able to separate it. It's crazy the way everything is handled. It's crazy the force on the people. There is no, I mean, there may be very few arrests, but you can't say that none of them are not painful because the handcuffs alone are painful. And depending on how mad the officers are, that determines the tightness of the handcuffs. Because sometimes they'll lock them on real tight. If you say enough to them, if you tell them enough truth, you're going to feel it. I mean, even at the post office arrest, when that officer cuffed me up, he used the handcuffs as a pain compliant tool, while another officer had her forearm across my throat to the point to where I was choking. And then I looked up at that officer and I told him, because I wanted it on his body camera. That's the main reason why I said it. Everything has to be on record. So whenever they violate anything, they have to be informed of it, because ignorance allows qualified immunity to protect them. So I looked up at that officer and I told him, you think you're hurting me with these handcuffs? You ain't doing shit, boy, because I've hurt myself more than you'll ever hurt me. And you ain't doing shit, you fucking pussy. That's what I told him. Even though I was hurting. I mean, it hurt. He was digging them in, pulling them up and down, twisting them around, and they were tight. But I told him it didn't hurt, because I don't want him getting the satisfaction that you are hurting me. Just like being choked. I'm being choked. There were 10 officers on scene. 10 officers were dispatched to that post office for me videoing inside the post office. And they all stood around while I'm being choked by this female. She didn't like being called a bitch. Well, I didn't like a bitch being on the scene. Well, that's what happens. And I think, I'm all about equality among men and women. But when it comes to police, the women, I feel like a lot of these women feel like they have something to prove. I don't know how to get my, oh, there they are. Sorry, people, I couldn't see the comments. And like I said, I'm a tech idiot. I mean, I don't know, I don't know about all this tech stuff. I wasn't into this tech stuff. All I know is something was happening to me. And I knew from watching these other videographers that I need to immediately pull my camera out and capture this. Who's going to believe me? I mean, I say stuff to this day, and people don't believe me, and I've got video proof. You got these idiots that watch the video proof and want to criticize me while I'm being strangled and bounced off the glass. Fitna Freedom Interactive Television Network Association. I believe we the people need to take over the news. I mean, we need to quit watching all these other news channels. I mean, we give the real news. And the news won't even take our story. The news won't take my story. I've called them several times. I've had family members call them several times. I mean, they may look at my video and be like, oh, wow, this guy is off the hook. There's no way we can air this because our editor, he can't bleep that out fast enough. Like, here's the deal when he showed my work. It's bleep, 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 bleep. And I think, I'm going to take all my content and I want to put it on a different channel because, anytime YouTube they could blip me out. They've already removed several of my videos, these privacy complaints, which are, they're bullshit. No privacy in public. But, I think about taking my content, and because I got another channel, Mr. Stan Lawful. Some of you have seen it from time to time. But, and I want to, I think about putting my content over there and then, maybe bleeping out a lot of this so YouTube will throw me into rotation just because, not that I really want to conform or comply with YouTube, but the important thing is people seeing what's going on in Indiana. And if I'm not out and if YouTube's not throwing me out in rotation, then I'm getting out there, but I'm getting out there slow. And I want everybody to see what's going on because, like I said, the main thing about supporters is people calling in and saying, "Hey, you guys are doing this guy dirty. This guy did nothing wrong. Where's the harm to somebody else? Where's the property damage?" I appreciate these donations. Chili Vigilance. I don't know. I guess I could scroll up and see. Uh, Chili, much appreciated, Chili. You've done so much for me. I'm always for you, Chili. I'm always shouting you out. I know OTVO, appreciate it. Love you, buddy. Carbon, much love, buddy. Appreciate you. Greg B, you guys are great. You guys are awesome. You have no idea what that means to me right now. I'm on the verge of losing everything. That's right, Vigilance. No victim, no crime. And I'll never create a victim. If you ever hear me harming somebody, it's because they were coming after me. Any harm I commit to somebody is going to be in strict defense. Horizon, I don't lick anybody's boots. But I appreciate people when they appreciate other people. When somebody's out there for me, when somebody who really doesn't really know me personally, and we don't deal with each other a whole lot, and they do what they can to help somebody else, I'm going to appreciate them. You can say licking boots all you want. It's not licking boots. When somebody helps somebody, then that person helping somebody deserves the recognition. Selwyn, then appreciate you. I hope I'm saying your name right. Horizon, if you're all the victims because you have to feed me when I go to jail and I'm locked up, basically kidnapped, then whose problem is it that you have to feed me because I was kidnapped? I did nothing to deserve going to jail, for one. My mouth should never land me in jail. My mouth should never land me in the courtroom. So when you have to feed me when I'm locked up, ain't I helping feed myself every time I purchase something? When I got my plates renewed and I got my insurance renewed, did I not contribute to feeding people who are locked up? Horizon, when I go out and when I have extra money and I go out and I feed the homeless, should I complain about that? Even though the government's already stealing money that's supposed to help these people already, and they're not, and they're there, and I'm helping them? Horizon, I don't kiss anybody's ass. You and your ignorance. Your ignorance has no limit, does it? Ghost, I appreciate you, buddy. Good to see you. I just saw you here. Appreciate you here. No, you're right, Jeff. Horizon's just one of those people that likes to put that divide in there and wants to spread this nonsense by supporting a bunch of terrorists. That's right, Chris. I put my time in. There's a lot of people. Chili's got more time than me. Rogue Nation's got more time than me. Erie, Auditing Erie County's got more time than me. Denver. I mean, a lot of those guys, they got more time than me. But I paid my dues, my undue dues. I've been attacked. I know what it's like. I've been intimidated. I've been bullied. You don't see what, Horizon? You don't see what in my videos? You don't see me being attacked? You don't see me paying my dues? Or you don't see me breaking the law? That's what you really don't see. You don't see me breaking the law. Except Chili's. What are you talking about? Nonsense. That's right, Jeff. You're absolutely right. And I find it hard to be. I find it hard to believe that it's just being, blind. I mean, I think it's all out just a hate attack. You got to hate the people. And why? Because we're out challenging the government? I mean, you may not think it's today, but there's already changes. I mean, you can watch other videographers in other states where there's already changes where the cops are coming in saying, well, yeah, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do here. And he has every right to do that. So there's changes being made. You still get the dumb shit, like them putting up signs, no public access or appointment only. Well, none of those, I mean, those are not legit. It's still discrimination. Yeah, I hate pigs. I'll let these idiots ramble on. I mean, if they want to show their ignorance and their hate for the people, I mean, we the people, I mean, we're the ones who, we get an idea of what we think about somebody, and we either agree with them, disagree with them, like them, dislike them, whatever, whatever, however we feel about them, that's us. And so, they shine their own light or their own ignorance. I don't know why. I mean, none of them can say, none of them, they hate on us, but none of them ever show anything factual about the good that the government does. They never show anything factual about what good the police officers do. What good do they do? That's right, Chris. I'm all about free speech. I'm all about free speech. Let them idiots ramble on. I mean, you can't even take them serious. That's the whole thing. How can you take somebody like that serious? When you sit and watch a video and you see all this stuff going on, even if I was breaking the law, if video in the public was against the public, what about all the hands on? What about the choking, the strangling, the battering, the slamming me down on the ground? Jinx, good to see you. Horizon, I welcome you on my channel. Everybody's welcome. I mean, how you conduct yourself is, that's the image you want to portray. That's you. Get it out there. Show them that you don't support what's going on. Show them that you believe we're all a bunch of frauds. William, good to see you. Tell them we're all full of shit. The thing is, Horizon, is we've got proof. Where's your proof? I've got over 100 videos of proof that, you know, things are not going the way they should be. Horizon. Even though all my arrests were unlawful, I never resisted the arrest. Once they said I'm under arrest, I'm in arrest position. I don't resist. The only thing I resist is the bullshit that they tell me. I resist everything verbally, not physically, even though I've got every right to physically resist. The only thing is I can't afford that bond. And I will pay being innocent by sitting in jail because they will never get my bond down low enough where I'd be able to afford to get out. Chili, that's absolutely right. I did nothing wrong. I criticized the government for committing an unlawful act against me. I told him to go jump in a fucking dumpster because that's where he belonged. I mean, a lot of people in here don't realize how much I've lost. All you see is what you see on video, but you don't realize how much I've actually lost at this moment right now in my life. I mean, right now I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you about everything and I am absolutely shattered. Oh my God, that would be resisting. What the fuck are you talking about, you fucking clown? Freedom of speech would be resisting? You fucking ignorant fuck. Chris, absolutely. Absolutely. Wrench, please. Add as a moderator. Good point, Chili. Thank you. No, Chili, let him stay. Don't block him. Fuck him. Yes, you are. All right. I know people talk about too many moderators, but these people absolutely deserve it. I don't know who that went to. Hopefully it went to the right person. Bunny, good to see you. I appreciate you guys, all of you. I really do. You guys are all I have, really. I mean, I got a couple kids, my grandkids. Uh, I mean, you guys have no idea. I've got so much going on in my mind. I mean, I just did this jail time. I got this probation. Oh, another thing about probation is, I mean, now listen to this. So, as far as my hearing, I represented myself in appropriate persona. They never asked me if I was even mentally competent to, uh, represent myself. Jinx, if you can make that happen. I mean, I'll let the idiots ramble on. I mean, maybe I shouldn't, but I mean, who am I to fight for freedom of speech? I'm the top person. I feel like, and I don't want to say that I'm better than anybody because I mean, I get everybody's point as far as me doing me, uh, and how everybody worries about how it may look in front of a jury trial when a jury sees a guy saying, you know, fuck you, bitch, pussy, Nazi, all this stuff. I get it. I get it. The They may have their opinion about it, but it doesn't change the fact that it doesn't violate law. That's the bottom line. It doesn't violate law. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So as far as my trial, they they never they never did any ask me any competency questions like, am I going to be able what grade did I complete in high school? Uh, you know, am I going to be able to represent myself properly or defend myself or challenge myself, however you want to look at it? Am I going to be able to do that properly in court? But after they sentenced me, after I was convicted in court, I now have an anger management class. I don't know how many classes, but I have anger management because I guess I shouldn't be angry when I'm being violated by a bunch of ignorant fucking fools. And they want me to do some kind of a mental evaluation. So you convict me and never question my mentality, but convict me and then question my mentality and want me to get a mental evaluation after you unlawfully forced me into this hearing and denied my trial by jury and left it as a bench trial. I mean, that's crazy. Everything in that courtroom is so despicably, blatantly unlawful and corrupt that it's ridiculous. Yeah, Chili, I appreciate that. Really, I do. I know they aggravate the shit out of me too. I mean, the nonsense is unreal. I mean, it's unbelievable. And the same thing. I mean, the same thing happens to me. So you guys know I support a lot of videographers, and sometimes I'll be on YouTube and nobody will be live. So I'll see it like some sort of court channel, uh, and they're live. So I'll get on their channel, and then I'll start talking about how Article 1 has no judicial authority, how it's basically a kangaroo fraudulent court, all for money, and preying on people who are basically incompetent. When I say incompetent, I mean because nobody understands the system and how they're being railroaded pretty much. And these court channels will tell me that the things that I'm talking about aren't relevant to their channel. And I'm like, so talking about how the court is operating unlawfully has no relevance on a channel that talks about court. And yeah, Chili, it's nothing. It's nothing against what you think. When it comes to these idiots, it's just the way I look at it is it's hard for me to be so adamant about freedom of speech and then block some idiot for shining his light on ignorance using freedom of speech. I mean, that's why I brought up, these court channels that I get onto, and how they block me for talking about things that are absolutely relevant to court, but block me by saying it's not relevant. Even what's the guy? Audit the Audit. I mean, me and him go back and forth all the time because of what I say. And then there's times that he'll leave me alone, and then he'll start blocking me. I mean, he'll block me, block me, block me, and I got multiple. I got multiple ones I use. I got Mr. Stan Lawful. I got Who Cares. I got a bunch of them, and I go through and they block them all. Audit the Audit's done it, and I'm like, Audit the Audit. You're showing our work, but you want to limit our freedom of speech, and you're supposed to be all about Constitution too, and you're trying to find what the officer did wrong in our videos and what we could have done better, but you want to block my freedom of speech. And I tell him too, if you think what I'm saying in here is wrong, then prove it. That's all you got to do. Prove me wrong. Don't block me. Don't say I'm wrong. Don't make me look like an idiot in front of your people who support you because you don't agree with what I say. You don't have to agree with me. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. All you have to do is prove it. Or let me ramble on. If people think I'm an idiot, then let them think I'm an idiot. I'll have people saying it all the time. Are you a sovereign citizen? No. I'm not part of the government. I'm above the government. If what the government displays is sovereign living or sovereign protection, I don't want no part of that. I don't want to harm and extort the people. I don't want to lie to the people. I don't want to enslave the people. I don't want to put a price tag on the people's life and collect that price tag. I want you to like me for me. And even if you don't like me, then please at least support me, because what I'm doing has relevance, not to just me, but for you. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, then look it up. It's that simple. It's not like back in the day, I was around before all this internet crap. I mean, I was around for floppy disk. When max headroom was, if you could create max headroom on the screen, then you were a big deal. So all this tech stuff, I never really messed with it. But now that we have it, everybody, it's simple. All it takes is time. You look it up, prove me wrong. Show me where I'm wrong. Consent of the governed. If you give consent of the governed, then you accept government action against you. You go to court, you participate and accept to defend in their house, in the state's house, then you accept the authority over you, and for them to delegate some sort of rule or some sort of collection of what they feel that you did wrong. Don't rely on an attorney or a public defender to save you. Nobody's going to want to save you like you're going to want to save yourself. That's what I thought. That's why I did what I did. Nobody's going to care about me more than me. So I need to know what's going on. I did the research. They have no authority. They have no jurisdiction. In fact, when I went to court, back to what I was trying to say earlier, and I jumped off a track, is I noticed that the United States breached the contract with the Indians. So what I said in court was, I would like to see where the United States lawfully purchased Indiana, because it was Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, there were some other states, but So this is all one big, one big connection of Indian land, and not all the Indians agreed with this treaty, so that alone was a problem. And these Indians, they wasn't aware that that land was worth money. So the United States made a deal with the Indians, the few that accepted it, that they would give them a blacksmith and pay 2 cents an acre for the land. And those that disagreed with it and didn't want it to happen, well, they continued fighting with the United States. And these Indians that accepted it, well, they accepted it. But the United States allowed people, when they started to inhabit the land, to invade the land that was still reserved for the Indians. They allowed the people to invade their land, their territories that they saved for themselves that they didn't sell. And then the United States didn't care about it. Like, let them sort it out. Well, the Indians didn't like that. So they started fighting back. So when they fought back, then came the Indian Removal Act by force. So they terrorized the Indians and started removing them. Well, you breached the damn contract because you allowed the people to inhabit the Indians' land, and that violated the contract because you didn't stop it. You allowed it to happen. But you used force against the Indians to remove them off the land and kill them and scalp them and do whatever you wanted to do to them. So I demanded that the court prove to me that the United States lawfully owned Indiana. Show me where the contract wasn't breached. Because if the contract was breached, then by all rights, this land belongs to the Indians. And if you want to talk about such thing as jurisdiction existing, then I believe that the jurisdiction would belong to the Indians. Then I'd have to challenge the Indians about jurisdiction. But I called it all out. Everything I knew about, everything I understood, everything I learned, I called it all out. They ignored it. They ignored it and stuck to state script, state action, state house, state force. And it's hard dealing with the state of mind. And all I could do was, accept the force. I didn't really accept it. It was force. I was lucky to be able to get the administrator to allow me to take the vehicle and Wanda back home and then tell him that I would turn myself in the next day. And don't think I didn't ponder not turning myself in, but me being the man that I am and so stuck on honor and morals, even though it was wrong and there was nothing right about it and everything was as dirty as it could be, I still did what was honorable and kept my honor and stuck to my word, and I turned myself in. When I wish I would have left. I wish I would have took off. I had a place to go. I had a few places to go. Thanks, brother. Freedom Interactive Television Network Association is the future. 8 years in the planning. The data center is here in Eagle Mountain, Cliff knows. So is there a channel on that? Carbon? I guess I'm way behind on the chat. That's right, Vigilance. And my word was fact and honorable and moral at all times. Hey, Stomper, good to see you. Even though everything that was wrong, I stuck to my word and my honor and did what I said I was going to do, always. KY, good to see you. I had people in jail telling me that, wow, they really hammered you. And I was like, oh, yeah, they did. I mean, they punished me good. I mean, it was excessive punishment. Absolutely excessive punishment. And I think it's because I informed them all. I told them all. I told the administrator. I told the prosecutor. This is all during court. I told them all. I'm going to sue every one of you. I told the administrator, your qualified immunity will not survive this action you're taking here today. I told him he should recuse himself. I had one of the administrators in Danville, Indiana, recuse himself. He said because I'm suing him for $50 million, he's got to recuse himself. I told the other administrator, I'm suing you. I'm suing everybody involved. This is a malicious prosecution. It's retaliation. It's discrimination. It's defamation. Hey, Jason, good to see you. Yeah, I do have one federal lawsuit filed. It's against the Speedway Post Office and the Speedway Police Department. It's been there for a while. I mean, it's been a while since I even called about it. I need to call the U.S. District Court and find out if that case is still active or not. I mean, normally they send me a letter, like whenever the U.S. attorney tried to challenge the case, they sent me a letter notifying me that the U.S. attorney's trying to challenge the case. So I filled out some documents. Why, they can't. They told me that it's not federal, and I said, it's not federal. The post office isn't federal. It's absolutely federal, and it's a conspiracy between the Speedway Police Department and the federal post office to unlawfully trespass me from a public area, discriminating against me, and violating freedom of the press. So last I called, my case is still ongoing. I didn't request as much money in that. I mean, roughly $160,000. I mean, it's defamation. Defamation is the big thing. The fact that we're videoing this and people will watch it and they act unlawful and make it look like we're the ones in violation and we're the ones wrong and we're the ones violating anything, and they portray us as being idiots, it's defamation of our character. And when they restrict us from one area, and then from another area because we're acting under freedom of press or whatever, that's discrimination. Hey, Rockford, good to see you. Yeah, I've got contempt of courts. In fact, at my conviction, at the end, because he arrested me for contempt of court during that hearing. And so at the end, after he convicted me, the court clerk, she was all on it because I guess my wife wanted to speak to the administrator about what's going on since they arrested me for contempt, if they were going to keep me or if they're going to let me out or what. But the court clerk didn't like that, but the administrator still talked to her. But anyway, it looks like it was dismissed. I didn't receive a letter. If it was dismissed, I assumed they would have sent me something. Good to see you too, Rockford. It's good to see everybody that shows up. Got an email from the judge that might shake this movement up, huh? You should have seen my court hearing. I mean, they shut the surveillance cameras off in the courtroom. I'm the only one pretty much in the courtroom. There's nobody going up to hear their case after me because they're all gone. I'm in there by myself and whoever decided to come in with me. That was all that was in the courtroom to hear what I had to say. But you know, they're going to do what they do. Yeah, everybody, what vigilance says, double tap that screen, everyone, and share. Share, share, share. And you know, I've reached out to everybody. I mean, I went to the office of the inspector general, you know, and I had to learn about these agencies. You know, I don't know who covers what branch. Uh, I know state is state is and federal is federal, but I don't know who's in charge of uh, press. Good to see you. You know, I don't know who oversees another agency because there's always another agency that overlooks another agency, whether it just be payroll or, uh, you know, employee conduct or whatever. There's always somebody above somebody else. But whenever you go to these places, even though what our research says that these people are responsible for the employees of this agency, they act like they are not. That's right, press, and I manifest a lot. Yes, I manifest a lot. I just got out Saturday, press. In Indiana, whenever you're sentenced, they release you usually around 3 o'clock in the morning from what I saw. But, you know, I had somebody picking me up. So I pushed, it got to be after 3 o'clock. And I was like, uh-oh. Uh, you know, my bonds, they must have, you know, revoked my bonds and hold me and probably going to try to hold me until my next court date or something. Uh, I was waiting for something like that to happen. You know, just because I was videoing them, I was waiting for them to do something really dirty like that. Or Danville to, you know, say, hey, we're revoking his bond. Go ahead and send him over here. Or Marion County say, hey, wait a minute, we're revoking his bond. Let's keep him. Because now that he's found guilty, we can go ahead and violate these bonds. Or, you know, just get rid of these bonds and say that he violated his bond. But it didn't happen. And but I pushed the button because it was after 3 o'clock and said, hey, yeah, I'm supposed to get out of here after 3 o'clock. I'm just wondering what's going on. They're like, go back to bed. Don't worry about it. If you're getting out, we'll come and get you when we come and get you. So I believe me asking about when I'm getting out made them stall it out until they released me. Like I got out at like 4:30 in the morning. So that's the thing about anytime you question anything they do, right? You know, if you're right or wrong, it doesn't matter. Uh, they're going to show you that you know, we got the force and we'll do whatever we want. So you don't tell us anything and you don't ask us anything. Whenever we're ready, we'll do what we want to do. You know, damn when you're supposed to be out. You'll get out when we let you out. And what can I do about it? Yeah, exactly, Jinx. Retaliation. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen that numerous times, Chili. I mean, I've seen a drunk guy come in, and they put him in a drunk tank. The guy wouldn't shut up. A few officers went in there, made a whole lot of racket, And he was quiet after that. So yeah, I mean, in everything I say, don't think because of what I say, and believe me, what I say to me is factual, but don't believe because of the facts I tell you that it's going to ever stop any force against you. I mean, you can stand on everything that's right, but it's not going to stop the force. If you piss off the ego, if you get the ego bent out of shape, then you're going to definitely get the force. So if you're going out and you're videoing and you're doing the way you want to do it, just keep in mind that how twisted you get that ego will determine if you're believing or not. Because when you give anybody discretion and they can do whatever they want and you piss them off, well, their discretion is going to do nothing but want revenge. And they don't believe they're going to be held accountable for it because it takes years to hold them accountable. And then even when we do hold them accountable, they don't get held accountable like we do. They get a slap on the wrist. The best we could hope for is that they get fired. When these clowns should be locked up. They should get years for this. We get years for kidnapping somebody. If we kidnap somebody, if we pull up to somebody and we snatch them up, handcuff them, throw them in the car, and take them somewhere and lock them up somewhere, then we kidnapped them, did criminal confinement on them, and we're getting years. We'll probably get 30 years. But when they do it to us, we're lucky if they get fired. And when they start realizing that we're the people that's going to hold them accountable, before they'll even allow themselves to be fired, they'll retire from the police department. Yeah, so and then appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate you taking your time to see what's going on in my life. Go take care of that livestock. Got milk? Yeah, that's what they have, Jason. They have the force. I mean, challenge the force if you want. I mean, I don't recommend it. I used no force and I was still choked and strangled and battered. I would love to physically challenge. I'd love to stand on my right to, I don't even want to say right, my status to be able to physically defend myself. I should, there's no reason why I shouldn't be, other than I can't afford it. Not only that, I mean, we know what would happen. It'd be somebody else having to step up to sue these clowns. Two cows as well. I will check back with everyone. Peace. Right on. Appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by. That's right, Vigilance. I am peaceful. And I see people's like, what we're doing is not enough. We're going to have to take it to this war. Well, I don't want it to go there. I don't want to have to pick up arms and go there. I believe if we can get to enough people and we can get enough people to start redressing all this nonsense that's going on, we can correct it without violence. If we have to resort to violence, then we're no better than them. I mean, they're the ones that choose violence if we don't comply. We shouldn't have to take it there. But they say every 70 years, there's a reckoning. And with all this nonsense going on now, with all these ICE agents invading our land and the military on our land, Big Chief, good to see you. I mean, what is going on? Why is military on our land? Why is ICE running around kidnapping people? I mean, if you look it up from what I've seen, these people that want to be in America shouldn't be charged more than $10. I mean, everybody says that they should come here the legal way. I mean, what is the legal way when you're being terrorized in your own country? America was supposed to accept people like that. Bring us your poor and you're hungry? And that's the big thing. I mean, the government, they're always promoting some sort of divide. Either they want to divide our races, they want to label a certain race as some type of way. You know, they were doing it to the Asians. Now it's the Hispanics. They're all rapists and murderers and drug dealers and drug mules and blah blah blah. I mean, there's people in America who are drug dealers, murderers, and all that. I mean, ain't that why law was originated for? If somebody does something like that, then they're held accountable for their actions. But no, they throw a label on an entire race. A leftist? I have no idea. See, that's the thing. I don't want those titles. I don't want Democrat, Republican. You know, I don't want that. I'm not government at all. I don't consent to be governed. Yeah, farmer. That's fucked up. As a former Mexican, I support immigration laws. Well, there's a big problem with that. I mean, how much time do you need to get somebody through the system? I mean, these people are waiting years to come to America. Those that are trying to do it the right way are waiting years to come to America. That's nonsense. I mean, I know the government's ignorant, but years? That's right. He hates pigs. I'm a free man too. I'm a free, non-consensual sheep show. Good to see you. You wanted others to attack you? Lots of time and lots of money. That's right. I don't have a lot of either. Either. Is that $100 in pesos or is that $100 American? U.S. Looks like I've been on here for quite a while. 2 hours and 20 minutes. 10 acres in northern Utah, huh? I heard it's nice out in Utah. I don't know about the cops, but beautiful country. I don't mean country like out of country, but yeah, everybody, what Vigilance is saying, double tap that. And please, everybody, if you're videoing, if you're not videoing, if you want a video, if you're a supporter, share my work. Get it out there. I need the supporters. I need the people to call in. Bronson, good to see you. I mean, I need your guys' voices is what I need. I need it when what you do for work. I ran a mobile auto repair business for 15 years. I try to help the people could barely afford to survive, let alone get their auto repaired. So I give them a hell of a deal on fixing their vehicle, a lot cheaper than the shop's going to charge them. And I also save money on their parts. Unless they can wait for Amazon. If they can wait for Amazon, I always recommend that first. But I've had people who are clients that were on disability. Uh, they could afford the part but couldn't afford the labor. So I'd run out there, do the labor, wait for them to get their check and pay me. I mean, it didn't always work out, but those that did, I mean, those are the ones you keep, right? Not everybody has honor and moral, but it doesn't mean that I can't have them, that I can't trust you. I'll trust you until you give me a reason not to trust you. I mean, my big thing about running a mobile auto repair business was to help the people out. Coder, good to see you. Appreciate you taking your lunch break to spend it with us. That's a true supporter right there. Much love. Now let me get your snack. No. Used to be an auto mechanic yourself, huh? Yeah, it sucks. On the ground, it sucks. I mean, it's wild out there too. I've done jobs where people want to negotiate the price after I'm done. I mean, come on. Coder, it's all you guys that make it possible. I appreciate you all. I mean, if you guys wouldn't pay attention to what I got going on, then what I would be doing would be useless. It's you all that make me. It's you all that make us videographers. It's all your opinions, your feelings, and everything that I mean, that's all the things we're subjected to. Your criticism, your opinion, your feelings. I mean, you all have different feelings. Some of you like how I do what I do. Some of you don't. I get it. I mean, but I really need you to support me. I need you to redress what's going on. That way, whenever I'm unlawfully kidnapped, that not just 10 or 20 people are calling, there's hundreds of thousands of you calling. That's where the difference comes in at. Me calling myself or a few people calling, yeah, I mean, they'll understand, but they won't care. But you get 100,000, 200,000 people calling, then somebody's going to pay attention to that, especially when you start calling the mayor, the city council members, Department of Justice, the ACLU. All this stuff's got to be, I mean, everything's got to be exposed. They got to know that they're doing something wrong. That's how we change it. Yeah, they are. They're growing every day. I mean, I'd love to be able to get a hold of those numbers. Welcome to Utah, brother. We love you. Appreciate that, Vigilance. Vigilance, by the way, it was great meeting you. I mean, I was so excited to meet you and Brandon Mitchell, Broken System, Press. I mean, it's awesome being able to meet people out there doing what I'm doing, supporting what I'm doing. I don't know what that little glitch was. Glitched out and then said, "You're live." Is everybody still there? Did we lose you all? Everybody still here? I don't know what happened, but my phone kind of glitched out. Am I from Breaking Bad? Some people might say that. Probably the feds listen, I wouldn't doubt it. I've called them numerous times too and told them about themselves. I don't care what costume they wear, what badge they hang off of their fucking chest or off their belt. For the record, good to see you. Appreciate that confirmation there, Bronson. Yeah, it don't matter what they wear. You're either good or bad, and no matter what you're wearing. Doesn't make a difference to me because I don't discriminate. I'll give you all equal respect, or I'll give you all equal wanda mise. What do you want? Jocko, you had any arrests yet? You been arrested yet? Hates pig, that's all I ever have is the truth. I'm all about truth, facts. Even when I was locked up, you know, ticket. Yeah, I've got one of those from the feds. Uh, Even when I was locked up, I mean, here's the thing about and this is where I'm going. Bro, passed me that joint. When you say that, I beat in appeal court. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I've won too in the U.S. District Court. And try to get me to pay a $130 ticket. I pretty much told them, "Fuck you, I ain't paying shit." They called the marshals on me, and marshals came into the courtroom, tried to rush me out of there, and I said, "You got to wait, motherfucker. They're getting me a court date. When I get all my shit, I'll be leaving." So he stood there like an idiot, and then we walked out together. And by the time we got out to the hallway, there was marshals coming from the right and the left, an army of them. So I let them know about themselves all the way down until I left. Yeah, I went by myself. No, not pro se. I don't ever do pro se. Pro se accepts jurisdiction. I don't accept jurisdiction. I don't participate, and I don't accept their action against me. Impropriate persona. Look up impropriate persona. INPROPRIA. Persona. That challenges jurisdiction. Look up challenging jurisdiction. Start there. Once you challenge jurisdiction, the court should cease all action until jurisdiction has been proven. The thing about jurisdiction in Article 1 court, these state courts, they don't even have authority to even rule on jurisdiction. That's Article 3. Only Article 3 can rule on jurisdiction. They have no authority in Article 1 to rule on jurisdiction. They're a non-judicial court. They're administrative magistrates. It's basically, state courts should be operating like a, if you're trying to get Social Security benefits and they refuse your Social Security benefits, you go to a court hearing. Well, that administrator is no different than an administrator in a state court. So it's contracts. Commerce. Commerce is contracts. Consent to be governed is a contract. Acceptance is a contract. Participation is a contract. Understand contracts. If you look up contracts, there's a bunch of contracts as far as law. It's a lot of research. I went through a lot. I mean, there's a bunch of people that I've watched. Gene Keating, Carl Miller, Howard Freeman, Richard McDonald. Write those down. Check them out. They'll give you an idea, but, like I said, don't take my word for it. Don't hold my word as bond. Don't hold their word as bond. Do your own research. Take what you hear or what you see and research it. Everything's always on us to know. We have to know everything. The government looks at us the same way, like it's our duty to know everything. We're supposed to know if we're violating the law. We're supposed to know if we're committing a traffic infraction. Everything is intent and knowing. Even in your charges, everything is intent and knowing. In statutes, it's all intent and knowing. If they can't prove intent and can't prove that you know, then how can they do anything to you? And that's if you let it get that far. Let's start off at the beginning. The state being the victim, the state being the plaintiff. How do you cross-examine a state? How do you put the state of Indiana in that little witness box? How does land testify? You had a prescription? Hey, them prescription things, boy, they're nailing people on those. I was locked up with the guy. Had prescription, and he told me he's hoping to get 10 years, and actually he's waiting on the feds. The feds keep saying they're going to pick up his case, and they haven't done it yet. I mean, they didn't while I was in there, but he's been in there for months, locked up for months. So that's the thing. I mean, you suffer the punishment before guilt is even considered or found or ruled on. But 10 years, he said, I'm hoping to get 10 years. 10 years. I'm thinking, shit. I got 30 days and I'm complaining about that. I mean, 60 do 30, but just want to see more cop videos. They funny as fuck. Yeah, mine are something else. I mean, they get me going just by their ignorance, and I mean, and it's right off the bat too, because it's something unlawful right off the bat. I find out it's an unlawful traffic stop, like when they got that security guard for wearing a police hat, for trying to say he's impersonating a police officer because his hat says police on it. On this channel. Yeah, all you videographers, feel free to share mine. I mean, I need to get my stuff out there. I need the supporters. YouTube, they don't throw me out in there, they don't throw me out in the rotation like that because they don't like my freedom of speech. Yeah, I didn't get any documentation on mine. I mean, basically what happened with mine was I went to arbitration. The marshals were called, so I went to my court date. At first, the marshals trespassed me from the courthouse on my court date because they didn't like what I had to say. But then a marshal came out and took me in and let me go to court. So when I went to court, I was sitting there expecting for this, finally a judicial judge to show up and, hear this thing out. And a lady comes out and says in my case, it's like, Mr. Mills, you wasn't informed? And I was like, about what? I said, your case has been dismissed. I said, it's been dismissed, huh? She's like, yeah. And I said, well, why was it dismissed? And she said, because they saw the video evidence. And I said, oh, you guys saw the video evidence, huh? And she's like, yeah. And I said, well, that means you guys are all witness to me being battered and unlawfully trespassed from a public building then, right? Of course, she walked away, had no response to that. G.I. Joe. Hey, G.I. Joe was my thing when I was a kid. G.I. Joe and Star Wars. Wish I had those things now. That's big money. So you guys know that. G.I. Joe and Star Wars. So if you got any extra action figures laying around, Wanda Mise is definitely in for some G.I. Joe and Star Wars. Never too old for G.I. Joe or Star Wars. In fact, let me grab something. I got this guy right here. Pretty cool. He does some stuff. You give him some commands and he does several things. No, I thought it was remote controlled. I went to a yard sale and I was like, yeah, how much you want for that? There's like $5. And I was like, $5? He's like, yeah, the remote's missing. But no, it's voice activated. You give it voice commands. It does stuff. You know, it's a little ignorant. Thought about dressing it up like a cop. Yeah, it works. Dress it up like a cop because they don't really listen that well to the commands. Yeah, yeah. You're right, farmer. Yeah, you're violating policy number, you're violating statute number, you're violating federal law, you're violating. I mean, there'd be so many violations that the AI would probably burn out. That's a cool little robot. You're a violation. Yeah, me too. I got the record to prove it. Gooch, hey everybody, Gooch is in here. This is my public defender in Danville. We had a kind of an incident where when I went to my first public defender's meeting, uh, the public defender's office investigator, I was talking about how I don't have to respect the police officers no more than they have to respect me, and how would they feel if somebody stole $200 out of their wallet because the officers stole my vehicle. And this investigator jumped up all of a sudden, all violently, and I didn't know what was going on. And he says, "Get the fuck out of here!" And he started cussing me out like crazy. And Gooch was just sitting there. I don't know what Gooch was thinking about it because I never asked him what he thought about that. But this motherfucker went crazy. So I got up thinking, shit, I got 4 cases going already. So I'm getting the fuck out of here before, this tries to generate another charge or something against me. And I'm backing out, and I start telling this motherfucker what I thought about him too, little fucking bastard. And at that point we're having a little verbal back and forth, and so I backed up all the way out of the public defender's office, out on the sidewalk, and this fucking investigator was going crazy. And so I got home and I tried to call the police and say, hey, I want to press charges on this public defender's office investigator. And he tells me, he's like, well, the officer tells me, it was a sergeant, by the way, tells me, well, it's not a crime to argue in public. I'm like, oh, yeah? Well, maybe somebody should inform the court about that, because that's exactly what I was arrested for. And it wasn't even an argument. It was me telling a bunch of criminals about stealing my vehicle and how unlawful they were. Yeah, you're right about that. I understand that. You're absolutely right about that, Farmer. That's why I try to stick to challenge in jurisdiction and proof of authority. Gooch, I'll hit you up. But yeah, I was shocked because Gooch didn't stop what was going on. I figured Gooch would say, hey, take your ass somewhere else, wild child. What the fuck are you going off on my client for? Because you don't like his opinion? It's a fact, right? What would you guys say? That's how I look at everything. What would you do if a criminal interacted with you? He violated my due process. I'm there for a fucking meeting with my attorney. You're obstructing justice, violating due process, trespassing me out of a public office during my meeting. You're going to say that I'm criminally trespassing there because, I'm sure a meeting with my public defender states that I'm there for some sort of service. I've always said knowing our rights doesn't matter. Knowing how the crooked system works is all that matters. That's exactly right, Farmer. Only the rights thing, I'm stuck in my vocabulary where I say person and I say rights. And I don't mean them because, like I said, and like I always say, we don't have rights. We don't need rights. When we're the authority, we don't need rights. We give rights away. We give them the right to be employed. We give them the right to serve. We give them the right to handle our international commerce. We give them the right to do what needs to be done for the people. They watch me. Yeah, that is. They watch me. Yeah, that's right, Jinx. Everyone is welcome in here. I don't have to like them, and you don't have to like them. We don't have to like what they say. We don't have to like their ideas. We don't have to like their opinions. We don't have to. We can love them. We can love them in every way. We can hate them in every way. But everybody's welcome. I may not like what they say, but they got every right to say it. I say it. Just please, whenever I mod you, and there's quite a few people that I've watched for years and years and years and years. I'm going to mod them. I told them. If you don't want to be my mod, let me know. But I've watched you mods. I think I may have found me an editor in jail. He's 24 years old. He can't wait. I'm gonna give him a chance. He calls me. He's been calling me. He's stoked about it. I got into some speeches in the dorm. I was telling people, I gotta let them know. One guy's telling me about, one guy's stuck in the box. You know, thinking all this stuff that's going on is all legit, and it's not. That's right, Farmer. It's always good for a debate. I mean, no matter how ignorant they appear and remain to be, people need to see that. People need to see that when you see the videos, and then you see what these people how these people rationalize these videos, these ignorant people, and how they focus on the fact that somebody's simply videoing in public, and then them people being attacked, and then justify them people being attacked for simply videoing. Then you get to see where the piece of shit beings are and who they are that still exist in society. These are the people that are ignorant, hateful people. And you let them expose themselves. They gladly do it. They'll gladly come out and tell you that they suck the boot. All the way up to the fucking chin. Yes, they are carbon. Yes. Because it pays good. What they do pays damn good. Why would they stop? It's going to take a lot of numbers to make them stop. I in fact believe that these state courts need to be eliminated. I understand there's some kind of way that the people have to have some form of justice, some form of accountability, but how do you do that? When you take, like I said, when we're all the authority, when all of the people are the authority, how can one people tell another people what to do or what is right or what is wrong, even though the majority may see what they did is wrong? Like when you steal something, of course, the majority of us are going to say that's wrong to take something from somebody else. But the fact remains, who can hold them accountable for that? I think the only people that can hold somebody accountable for what was done is that the people who were harmed are the only ones that can hold somebody else accountable for what somebody else did to them. And you do it by you fucking them up, or an eye for an eye. What's the big thing? Let God sort it out. And then there's God's law. When you can't get a job at a law firm, you become a public employee. And that's the big thing about that too. I mean, when you get into these attorneys, I mean, I've called hundreds of attorneys, and they all tell me, yeah, I studied the Constitution a little bit in the beginning of my uh, bar, but that was a long time ago. Let you get some of that $50 million lawsuit money. My lawsuits are higher than that. Ignorance of the law is no excuse unless you're law enforcement. That's right. That's why you don't let law enforcement be ignorant to it. You inform them of everything. When you tell them, well, if I'm not allowed in that public area, then that's discrimination. And you try to force me out of that public area is intimidation, harassment. I mean, you generate all the charges and you get it all on video. I mean, just because they refuse to believe it or refuse to accept it, it doesn't mean that they wasn't given notice. If it's our duty to know law and everything else, citations, uh, everything that the government read, if it's our duty to be informed of it, to not infringe on it, then it's our duty to inform them, and then it would be their duty to make sure that they're doing the right thing, because if they're not sure that they're doing the right thing, then qualified immunity will be abolished. And you go after them personally in their individual and official capacity. I'd make a better. I'd be better for the people than being an attorney. I'm better to assist as a people, not in law, but in fact. That's what I deal in. I deal in fact. Law is not fact. Law is like the Bible. It's been written and rewritten so many times by so many different people with their own opinions on how everything is that it's become nothing. I mean, but that's a whole nother argument when you get into religion. That's another extortion, another entrapment of your mind. I mean, I believe something happened that created life, but there is no fact of how it was actually created. All we know for sure is that life found a way. I don't put faith in what was written. Somebody wrote it. So when I write something, it's got my feeling in it and my opinion in it. And somebody else will look at the same thing I wrote, just like my video. Somebody will watch my video and they'll come out with an entirely different perspective that to me just makes absolute no sense at all. But they'll rationalize it. And to me, I'm looking at them like they're ignorant, dumb fucks. And just like anything I write, somebody else may look at it and not rational, and they'll rationalize it in a different way and think maybe I'm full of shit, you know. But that's the thing about opinions. That's why there's a society contract too as well. But how can you be part of a contract of society when society doesn't get along and society doesn't agree on everything? We never agree on everything. We can be best friends for years and never agree on anything. Or, I mean, we can agree on things, but not everything. So society as a whole will never be in total agreement on everything. So I can't be a part of a societal contract because they're going to agree with things that I don't agree with. And while I understand that we don't have to agree with everything on a whole, I mean, I don't want no part of it. I deal with people in an individual basis. And I either like you or don't like you. But either way, I mean, your opinions, I'm not going to hold you accountable for your opinion. That's your opinion. I can't change that. So I create an argument for your opinion that I disagree with. We can agree on some things, and that's fine. I mean, we can even be friends. We don't have to agree on everything. But to be bound to some contract of society, when I know that we're all not going to agree with everything, it's not going to happen. All right, my phone just popped up 15%. I've been on here for almost 3 hours. That's a long time. I mean, the thing is, I'm free. Am I happy? No. Was there any justice? No. Will there be? Eventually, yes. Will what I got going on right now be fixed? I don't know. One thing I do know is I'm not going anywhere. Like it or not, I'm here. And I'm going to make sure they pay for every fucking thing they did to me. I appreciate you all for showing up, taking your time to spend it with me. Time is the most valuable thing I have, and I must appreciate you all for spending it on me. You guys stay safe out there. Always pick up the camera. Don't let those fuckers catch you off guard. Much respect and love to you all. Stay safe out there. I'm out.